So today we're going to discuss patterns 9 and 10. Alright, so the interesting thing about patterns 9 and 10 is, in a sense, you're adding two patterns together. And this way, you're adding pattern 2 to pattern 7 in order to generate pattern 9. There is a catch to that, and that the verb is a transitive verb, not a linking verb. The linking verb is pattern 2. The verb to be specifically. This is a transitive verb, it's transferring action. But, in a sense, it is pattern 2 plus pattern 7 to create pattern 9. What do I mean by that? Well, the students consider, there's your core sentence, so you have MP1, or your noun. Consider your verb, specifically your transitive verb. The course. Now you've got a second noun, noun number 2. So you have NP2. Challenging. Because the students consider the course challenging. Now we have an adjective. Since pattern 2 is the one dealing with an adjective, you can now see how it's basically like adding 2 and 7 together. So, how do you diagram this? Well, you start with pattern 7. Students consider subject and verb as always. The students consider what? The course. The instant you have to ask the question what, again, you have a direct object. Let's get you pattern 7. So they consider the course. But you have more information. So you have to add something here. In this case, an adjective. So now you need even more space, and just like with pattern 2, you need a slanted line. The students consider the course challenging. So don't forget your determiners. And this is pattern 9. So MP1, NP2, and adjective make together pattern 9. Alright, so let's talk about pattern 10 as well. Pattern 10, in a sense, is not much different. Which is precisely why I'm not going to erase much. Although I will redo the diagram. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of the patterns. Alright, pattern 10. Pattern 10 adds pattern 3 to pattern 7. Again, caveat, pattern 3 is technically for linking verbs, and specifically in this textbook, the to be verbs, but it basically works. The students consider the course, how is this sentence different? A challenge. Alright, what happened? Well, this. MP2, the course, equals NP2. So you have noun number 1, the students, noun number 2, the course, and noun number 3, challenge. It is a challenge. So if I actually said the sentence, it is a challenge, that would be pattern 3. But this sentence is a little more specific than that. How do you diagram that? Well, it's very similar to pattern 9. Students consider course. Alright. Obviously, so far, it looks like pattern number 7. But we're adding on pattern number 3, MP2 equals MP2. If you remember in pattern number 3, when the two noun phrases are equal to each other, you still have a slanted line. It is a challenge. Students, consider course challenge. Don't forget your determiners. All right, so that's pattern 10. Ask yourself, do I have NP1, NP2, and then another NP2 so that these two are equal to each other? The course is a challenge. Or, in pattern 8, you would have NP1, NP2, and NP3. The students, NP1, gave their professor their homework. So you have one noun, students, another noun, professor, another noun, homework. So NPs 1, 2, and 3. So that's how you tell the difference between 10 and 8. So this has to be NP2 equals NP2. Alright, so I will make another video on how to deal with compound sentences as an extra explanation of fancier things before we move on to the super complex stuff in later chapters, not to scare you or anything, but you will end up with sentences that have entire phrases that you are familiar with in the English language, such as, when I go to the store, I always buy chicken. How do you deal with those sentences? Well, you'll find that out in later chapters. For now, just keep your eye on the basic sentences. As always, if you need any kind of help or assistance, do please email me. Tell me, and we can set up a meeting over Skype or Zoom.